tell you a very small short story. If the world or Kenya did not take the right path, and even though we are still lagging behind in certain areas, some of us, as Dorothy has said, would be long gone. She did mention, as she was pointing at me, that now I started at WOFAC, rights were protected, rights that enabled me to go back to school, rights that enabled me to be at the workspace. And now those rights are finally being respected and are enabling me to influence even further at UNAIDS. And so we envision a Kenya, a world, where everyone can be like Ludfin today, that even though a woman living with HIV for all those years and has gone through every other challenge that any member here that is living with HIV probably could talk about, and we will not talk about it now, is today can stand before you and represent my country director. Not because of any tokenism, but because of the competencies of everyone. That HIV does not take away your faculties. No. With the rights protected, people living with HIV, key populations are able to contribute to our economy, to take care of our families, to be friends with everyone, and to live lives that are fulfilling. So in conclusion, PS and members, CS and members present, apologies for that. We hope that this marathon can indeed amplify the UNAIDS theme, take the right path, and that it can continue and go until we end AIDS by 2030. Thank you so much, Madam CS.
Thank you. Thank you. A better round of applause for these very brave ladies. Yeah, and what I take home from your speech is that HIV does not take away your faculties. You can become whatever that you want, even if you are living with HIV, and that is true. That is true. Otherwise, these great men and women here would not have been here today. As you are talking, the Director of Health at the Council of Governors walked in. I know she'll be introduced in another platform. However, as the Director of Health from the Council of Governors, whom we work very closely with to coordinate and get the counties together so that we can have one national cohesive response, I wish to welcome Katra Ali, just to make some brief remarks before we go to the CEO. Katra. Makofi ya Katra. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Awambie tulifanya kazi na wewe.
Thank you so much, moderator, and good morning, everyone. Allow me to adopt the previous protocol, Madam CS, our able CEO, NSDCC, our chairman board, and all other protocols that has been observed. So, my name is Katra Ali. I'm the Director for Health at the Council of Governors. I just jumped in, but I was here earlier on, but I'm just from another meeting. The rollout of SHA that is already happening. But I felt this is also very important, and as county government, we are really pleased to be part of this launch. I know the theme is very, very clear. World AIDS Day 2024 half marathon launch, promoting the health and well-being of men and boys and everyone. So I think you all know that health is a devolved function, and as we actually launch this, I think county government are also going to pick it up well. As much as the launch is going to be done in Nairobi, we are also going to do the same in all the 47 county government. So I know like a lot has been ongoing in terms of HIV infections within the county. Counties have really progressed in terms of intervening some of the new HIV infection and working towards the stigma reduction within the counties. I know the 95 has already been talked about, but as counties, we are trying also to put all measures to ensure that we are able to achieve this. Some of the key things that we are actually doing in terms of county government is the dwindling of donor funding, and we are putting all measures and getting to help counties to be able to sustain some of these programs that are fully donor funded. So county governments are also trying to put a lot of measures, trying to see how they can be able to pick up and plan and budget for HIV in terms of how we can be able, we are not able to lose the gains that we've already made. I know it requires a lot of resources. I know it also requires a lot of partnership. So we are working closely with the national government to ensure that the gains that have been made in HIV space is not going to be lost. So I don't want to talk much, but we'll be part of this. And we actually, as Council of Governors, commit and make sure that we are going to work closely also with the national government and ensure that we can be able to achieve all that is intended to achieve within HIV space. Thank you and have a good day.
Pigia makofi Katra, makofi ya kilo kidogo. Asante. Katra is so critical for us CS. Whenever we want to do anything in the counties, Katra has always been there for us. And in fact, we appreciate that that's where the rubber meets the road, and then this collaboration. What we have done this year CS, although we don't have much, but we have spared some little seed fund to start the planning process in each of the 47 counties. We are also mobilizing partners. We are supporting committees that are chaired by the county commissioners. We have invited the governors to co-chair those meetings as well, and where they are not, the CC members for health can co-chair those meetings, the planning meetings. So that we have this theme being cascaded through the valleys and hills and of all the 47 counties of Kenya. And we do hope that we'll deliver upon it, and come 2nd of December, we'll give you a report to that extent. Now, on behalf of the National Endemic Disease Control Council, I want to hand this over to the CEO, our CEO, Dr. Ruth Lebon Masha, to take us through the next set of speakers and sessions. Dr. Ruth Lebon Masha. Mpige makofi bosi yangu. Asante.
Thank you very much, CS, and karibu sana, community members, our chair, representative of our PS, who is also my boss. So, Director Okaria, you always plays two roles. When he comes here, he's a director, and then now today he's here fully representing the PS, Katra and the team, and my friends who have spoken before us. Mine is very short. I know this is a very brief occasion. When every time I see Dorothy stand here, I always want to cry, because she reminds me nothing for us without us. I was recently speaking to some young people living with HIV, and I was describing to them how it looked like when he had no drugs. One young person followed me and asked me, how come you know too much about this? I said, because I spent so much time with Dorothy Onyango and Ludfinia and Almasa. Yes, one time Dorothy and I were able to process a passport, a visa, for a woman she was from North Kibra, Kariobangi, with her 3 children in less than 24 hours, and we sent her to New York. That is the spirit the response has given us. And in the end, when he put the woman and the children in the plane, in the car to go to the airport, we remembered yellow fever. And Dorothy told me they don't even need to get yellow fever to Tapeleka. So we had a motorbike rider, after getting the visa from the American embassy, to rush the yellow fever. Then finally, when they came back, the children said it was a life-changing. Why am I saying about those 3 children? Those were among the first children whose mothers got medication and they were born free of HIV. And what happened when Ban Ki-moon was leaving the office, I was working for UNAIDS, he said in his closeout party, he went to the pictures of his tour around the world and he pointed at the mother and the children. And he told his officer, I want these 3 children and the mother to be my chief guest. So the entire world was looking how to get this mother and children to be in New York, ready for Ban Ki-moon send-off. And the magic happened. So Dorothy, I never forget that we have done so many magic. And that's why when we present this short presentation, to say that while we know we have very high numbers and that Kenya has a high burden of HIV, that we don't let's forget that we have helped and we have worked together in partnership to ensure that those people, the 1.4 million, are actually healthy people, just like Bosire has said. But today, it's really a short focus for us. Why are we speaking about men and boys? The reason has been, and I know it may not be clear, if you look at that particular slide of people living with HIV in Kenya, and you look at the adults, whereas we have more women, there is disproportionate number of men dying of AIDS-related illnesses. There are fewer, but they die more. And I don't even have to belabor of why. It's because Kenya is a high TB HIV burden country. For a long time, we've been programming separately. We come talk to you about TB today. Tomorrow, we come and talk to you about HIV. But now we are saying we are going to bring together TB and HIV because most of our men, we are identifying them in the TB clinic when sometimes it is too late. And we want to make sure that they are really being focused on. And so as we try to look at our success, again, children are also being left behind. And that is a big challenge that we have. We have done well and we'll be releasing the new data, but we can still see that we have a big challenge. We also know that the progress we are making in the new data, you'll see that we have gone to 16,000. But as you go to release the report soon, but the progress you're making is not really sufficient enough to say we've ended AIDS. You know, 16,000 people newly infected, what we saw in 2023, those are the 22,154 for 2022. There are far too many when we know we can prevent those infections. We also know that we have a challenge that while we are doing so well with adults getting ARVs viral suppressed, we are still leaving children behind. We also know that we have a big challenge in this country of alcohol and substance abuse disorders, and that is where the men and boys are coming in. I don't know if you have the community of people who inject drugs represented here today. That is one program that is grossly underfunded. And that is why part of this marathon, every proceeds of this marathon shall be channeled to do what we call social integration of people who inject drugs after you put them on treatment. Currently, the Exchequer spends about close to $1 billion to buy the opioid substitution therapy, which we call methadone in Kenya. But the challenge is once we start treating the people who inject drugs and they become like all of us, then we want to send them back to the paper bag houses and on the streets. And then we have been asked, how do you expect them to maintain the new status of being sober? So the question is, who is going to come and help us? Because donor funding is only focusing on the treatment part. We also want to start bringing to our attention that this challenge is starting in schools. 11.7% of our boys in school are already using drugs, and 5.4% of the girls. Again, the challenge we are having of sexual and gender-based violence in this country is also really a huge challenge. And we've done a lot of work under what we call the triple threat. But the question is, we are talking to the girls, but the perpetrators mostly are men. CS, when you go to the prison, you work with the prison community. There is something that they classify as crimes of immorality. When you ask what are these crimes, it's actually talking about people who have been incarcerated because of rape cases. And there are far too many. We also have a challenge with our young boys. we have not taught them about sexual consent. And the challenge is the judge has to sit down and look at a 17-year-old and a 14-year-old and make a decision. Even sometimes 17 and 16, we call it the Romeo and Juliet challenge. And sometimes parents will take the boy, and you'll meet some of these boys, I met them the other day, and take the boy into the police custody and the girl is let free. We met boys who are telling us they want to remove, they want to have their testicles removed, they want to have their organs removed because it caused them so much harm. And when we asked them, did you know about sexual and reproductive health, they said, no, it was my first time. So you have to look at the boys, not as perpetrators, but also as children who require education altogether. I think the other part that we are having a challenge with is the experience also of violence among men and boys. I don't know how many of you have been seeing an increase of sexual violence among boys as a form of punishment, you know, and we saw it the other day, a young man who was saying he was being punished and he was sodomized. We know that that also is a big challenge, and we have to also look at the boys as far as sexual violence is concerned. We also, that is what I talked about, crime. We can say crime against morality. In the curve, it goes very high, and that's why most of the people who are incarcerated actually tell you that that is what they are there for, especially for the boys. The issue of drug, again, I think I want to say that this is what we say the disaster of the next phase of the epidemic. The problem initially was Mombasa, Nairobi, Kisumu. Right now we have drugs in Uasin Gishu. We have drugs across the entire country. I can see Joan saying they're injecting right in the heart. Our chairperson and our director here have gone to the dens. And by the time we left the den and we met one young man mixing the blood and the heroin to share with another one, we came back and they said, is that real or were we seeing a movie? I said, no, you were there early morning when the actual action was happening. So this is a serious problem in the country. Currently, there are about 26,000 people inject drugs from the estimate we had. And about 8,000 of them are currently in our treatment program. And the program works also with Nakanda. The challenge we have with drug use is that the drug users have about 3 to 4 homes. The first home is where they were born. Then they left their home. And if they are girls, they tell it's because they were pregnant mostly. Then they went to the second home. Some on the street, others in very shaky relationship. And then after that, they make the den their home. Now, for them to keep taking the drugs, where it is the next place, it's a police cell. Because they stole your handbag, they stole your phone. The next from the police, it is prison. Then from prison, back to the streets. So that is how we've had to program, to take the program to prisons, to ensure that if we have someone taking their drugs, they also are not missing. They also have the highest prevalence. We just did modes of transmission recently, and the highest HIV incidence is among people who inject drugs. Of course, it's expected because that is a direct route. And then I think I just want to stop there and say that we have all the reasons to actually note that we have left men and boys behind. I can see most of them nodding. I was speaking to some of my men colleagues who walked into my office the other day, and I had some bottles of ARVs and PEP and PrEP. And these are people in our profession. And when I started talking, they asked me, how come no one talked to us about this? I said, but we've been talking, Dorothy, we've been talking for so many years. They said, no, but talking to us. I said, to who? To men. And one of them asked me, supposing I take PrEP today, then I have sex tonight, must I keep taking it every time? I said, unfortunately, that's not how it works. And that brought to my attention that probably we may have thought that we have finished with the race, that everybody knows about the drugs you're talking about, they know prevention, but now it is not true. So we will really be keen on the harm reduction program this year and make sure that at least by next year we are supporting the boy, child, and also not leaving the girl child behind. So I want to stop there because of time and just say that we have the evidence, and this is evidence-based. Madam CS, as I say, the Wildest Day is usually your event. And you will also notice that as you had the Madenge saying, we'll bring the communities along. And as you invite the other guests from across the world, we know we'll just be almost hosting UNAIDS. We want to invite a few colleagues who can come early. And we hope that it's also an opportunity for you. This is your first time, your first Wildest Day. And it's the first time we've done a marathon. So it is a special event for you. And as the young people said, we know that they will come out. So with that, I want to stop there and invite, before we invite the chair to invite you, or the other way, we invite our director. Do you want to say something before you invite the chair? Then the chair will invite the CS. Asante sana.
Thank you, Madam CEO. Our Waziri, Madam Debolan Daktali, our chair and the CEO, all protocols observed. Good afternoon. Afternoon again. Thank you, Madam CEO. I don't want to really belabor much. You have worked as the statistics, the data, and the statistics don't lie. It tells us the situation down there. Madam Wasi, there is a lot which has been done on this space. But unfortunately, there is a lot more which is left. And with your professional background and your capacity, we are looking forward to you as the NSDCC board and organization. On behalf of the peers, he sent his message of togetherness. He is attending the other meeting on sensitization of the SHIF at the Crown Plaza. And it's on because it must work. As the Nairobi County said, lazima itawezekana. For this Wildest Day, lazima tujitayarishe, Bwana Chairman. Tutavaa viatu na tutakimbia. So, Madam Waziri, come in a month's time. We have a whole month to practice. So that tukisema ni half marathon is usually 21 kilometers. Sidio? But I hope, Madam CEO, you will allow us to, those who will not be able to go all the way 21, kutakuwa na ile station ya 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, like that. Lakini, it must work. Because we want to sensitize our people on this area and this challenge. Otherwise, I leave it there. Madam CEO, you invite the chair? I will invite. Okay. Allow me to request for applause of inviting the chair. Tumupigie makofi moja, mbili. Karibu chair.
Good afternoon. I want to start by thanking our CS, Madam Deborah Baraza. It has been a privilege to have you. We are very grateful, more so by you having come from the profession of the medical world, and for you having assured me that you give us your full support. I want to assure the community and also the staff of NDCC here that you have committed to give us your full support. Madam CS, Dr. Ruth Marsha, partners, shareholders, stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to allow me to recognize our staff, the staff of NDCC. Just stand and wave wherever you are. Thank you for your good work. And know that we have the assurance of the CS Health that she will work with us. I want today to thank Madam CS. One, I want to also recognize, I think your name, Madam CS, is not just a name. You are a prophet. If we go back to the Old Testament, Deborah was a prophet and a heroine. You remember she assisted the Israelites and inspired the Israelites to the mighty victory over the Canaanites and the oppressors. We believe that you are going to assist us, the communities and the people in NCC and other space in health, to overcome all the challenges that we have in health space. We thank you. It is my profound honor to join you today as we launch the World AIDS Day Half Marathon. This historic event is held in anticipation of the World AIDS Day that will be commemorated on the 1st December and marks a pivotal moment in our shared commitment to end AIDS in Kenya by 2030. Today we gather here to unite our voices and actions towards a future free of AIDS. And this half marathon is a powerful call to action, challenging each one of us to contribute actively to Kenya's healthy journey. The emphasis on encouraging men and boys to participate fully in these health initiatives is essential if we are to overcome not only HIV/AIDS, but also the wider issues of unintended pregnancies and gender-based violence among adolescents and reality, as we recognize it as the triple threat. Ladies and gentlemen, today we launch, in 2022 we launched the End of Triple Threat campaign to transform the health of well-being and well-being of the adolescents. Today, the marathon launch demonstrates this spirit. The National Syndemic Control Council, alongside numerous dedicated partners and developed essential resources like commitment plan to end the triple threat. This half marathon carries a clear message. It's a race against time. With only 6 years left to meet our goal of ending AIDS by 2030, we urgently need the support and involvement of everyone. This deadline is not far, and we must all work together with resolve and urgency to reach the finishing line. I want to thank you, every one of you, and as I invite our CS to come and address us, I want all of us to be upstanding, and we welcome her with a clap. Welcome, Madam CS.
Thank you, Chair. Please do have your seats. PS representative, Mr. Rukaria, Chair for National Syndemic, CEO National Syndemic, distinguished guests, development partners, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. I hope it's still morning or it's afternoon. Yes, thank you so much. I'm privileged to be here, and today indeed marks a meaningful step in our journey as we launch the World AIDS Day Half Marathon, a powerful event aimed to raise awareness, unite us in solidarity, and assess the strides that we have made in the fight against HIV. And we really commend the great work that has been done globally, regionally, as well as within our country. The global objective, as we know, remains clear. We hope to end AIDS by 2030 and guarantee treatment for all people living with HIV, as well as preventing HIV new infections. The countdown is on, and we are committed to reaching this. So we have only 6 years left, but I believe that we can race against time and we can achieve this and end AIDS by 2030, as well as ensure that all our people living with HIV are on treatment, as well as preventing new infections.
this marathon again is integral part of Kenya's national spirit because it symbolizes our resilience and athletic prowess. But again, today's marathon goes beyond this. It's a call to action in a battle we cannot afford to lose. Over the past decade, as has been shared by Dr. Masha, we have achieved a lot. We've been able to reduce HIV in new infections by 83%, I believe. And the number of people living with HIV who are on antiretroviral therapy have doubled. So most people are actually on treatment. As well as AIDS-related deaths have gradually dropped by 65%, from more than 58,000 to more than 58,446 to 20,480 in 2023. And so we are seeing great, tremendous steps when it comes to management of HIV infection. Still, you know, each life lost it represents a family. So what can we do in order to achieve and ensure that no one is dying of AIDS-related illnesses, how we are addressing new infections and ensuring that viral suppression continues within our country. And that is why we need to synergize our efforts. We need to come together and work together as the various communities in order to achieve 95 achievement, as has been talked about. Equally, we take note of the viral suppression that 97% of Kenyans who are people living with HIV have been reached, but we need to ensure all are actually on treatment. As has been shared, great challenges have been seen, and especially in children, adolescents, and young people. Adolescents, especially the young girls, we see that they face the triple threat: HIV infection, early pregnancies, and exposure to sexual and gender-based violence. And for us, in order to address these things, we need to come together and harness our collective power to address these triple threats. As you are well aware, His Excellency the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, has placed universal health coverage at the forefront of our agenda. And one of the priority is the fight for HIV/AIDS and ending AIDS in 2030. That has been incorporated within our strategy, and we look towards working together with the various teams and various communities to achieve this. So, this year's World AIDS Day commemoration is a rallying call focused on one aim: ending AIDS and confronting its associated risks, that is, new infections, unintended pregnancies, and gender-based violence. A mission we refer to as ending the triple threats. By participating in this event, you will play a critical role, and so we are inviting you to this, because it will help us in public education, in raising awareness, as well as handle the stigma surrounding HIV. And so your involvement in spreading the message of hope, resilience, inspiring others to take action is indeed critical. As we commemorate the World AIDS Day 2024, we will also focus on promoting health and well-being of the men and boys. I like what our colleague talked about. The father, you know, the male figure is actually the sole breadwinner, is the head of the house. And while looking for food for the house, they may forget themselves. And so how do we ensure that there's improved accessibility for the men and the boys in terms of care, HIV care, and other treatments that they may require? And equally, as has been talked with Dr. Masha, the issue of boys also needs to be addressed. I like what she talked about substance abuse. As you know, I'm really passionate about mental health awareness in the country. And what we see is once someone is into substance abuse, what happens is a downward spiral. Everyone forgets about them and the various homes that they attend, as Dr. Masha has talked about. So how do we ensure that they are rehabilitated and well aligned? Because what we have learned is that even if you have you have been infected with HIV, even if you have substance abuse or other things, you can actually be rehabilitated and have capacity to support and build the country. So how do we hold their hands and support them? And so I like the theme that we need to support men and boys during this time, but equally have a family approach so that we are not leaving anyone behind, but we are supporting the whole family in health. And that is actually the theme when you talk about universal health coverage. So as we approach this event, I urge everyone, regardless of your age, your background, to join us for the World AIDS Day Half Marathon on the 1st of December 2024. In Nairobi. And this marathon is more than a race. It's a symbol of our commitment to ending AIDS. Let us unite in purpose and show the world that Kenya is determined to leave no one behind in this fight. So thank you, and I look forward to seeing you at the starting line. Asante.
Better round of applause of Madam CS, ladies and gentlemen. Let's all be upstanding until, thank you so much, asante sana. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, please kindly wait until she has a seat. Thank you so much, madam. Tumpige makofi tena, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, and I think Bwana Chairman, if there's something that has gotten my attention this beautiful afternoon, as we do officially the unveiling, is the fact that most of the time it's the men who are championing for the boy-child rights and of course on our affairs. But tonight, this morning, I'm happy because both Waziri and of course Daktari have actually alluded the support for the boy-child, which wanaume situpige makofi. Hey, at least now tumeanza kujulikana na kuonekana. Bwana Waziri, Madam Waziri, I do one of the actually it's the biggest radio show right now in the evening, 7 to 10 in the evening on Radio 47, 103.0 Nairobi. It's called Chamber, and we just talk about men. It's a men's show, right? And I think Dr. later on will come for a meeting with you to see how we can partner together and get this conversation on ground and talk to men, tell men the importance of getting tested, knowing your status, and apart from knowing that this is not the end, all right? Sindio, wanaume, no wanaume. Hey, sawa. So I want us to get straight into it, ladies and gentlemen. The official launch, karibuni sana. Please make sure your cameras are out. Make sure the conversation has started. We should be trending by now. The whole globe should know what is happening in Kenya today. We are launching a conversation. We are launching a marathon. And of course, we expect this to become a ripple effect across the globe for everybody to know that, you know what, we are talking about this. I love what the banner says. Let's talk about HIV. Don't be shy. Manze tubonge. Ambia jirani yako tubonge. Mwambie tubonge. Conversation lazima endelee, si ndio? Haya. So ladies and gentlemen, all right. So Madam Waziri, kindly, and of course Chairman, and of course Daktari, kindly just join me over here. Actually next to me. Thank you so much. And of course we are live on Kenya's #1 TV station, TV 47, your home of untold stories. Thank you so much. Tusimama sisi wote, let's all be upstanding. I mean, you're trying to take photos. It needs to be very clear from wherever you are. Sawa. You okay from here? So I also don't block you. I could be blocking you and you do a signage of telling me to move and I didn't understand. Thank you so much. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, I would request, I would really want this place to be a little bit open, so to go, because something will happen here as well. This has only happened in Kenya. The last time it happened was in New York. Whatever is about to happen, the last time was in New York. It has never happened again. I can promise you, Madam Waziri, we are international here. And even Chairman, you know what we did in Frankfurt in 1992. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? No, guys, are you ready? Kama una simu wachilie mkono tupige makofi, unless you're on your mobile phone, all right? And this is international. Hakikisha kwamba ni iPhone 16 and above, Samsung Fold. Hizo zingine ni calculator. Aya, tuko tayari, ladies and gentlemen. All right, the countdown begins. All right, check it out.
3, 2, impressions. Beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. And the official marathon, of course, begins, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't know it was my birthday. Ladies and gentlemen, the official launch of the World AIDS Day 2024 half marathon has officially begun. The photos are there. So Madam Waziri, Chairman, and of course, Daktari, let's just come over here kindly. The three of you first of all. Do you to chape kafit? Do you nice one, nice one, nice one? So yes, Chairman, you have some space. Chairman, I like your suit. It takes some man in a good suit to know another good suit. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Asanteni sana. Madam Waziri, once again, with your permission, just kindly just come forth to this side. Thank you so much. Let me have I don't know the last time we took a selfie, but I want to give you something called a selfie board. So let me have the selfie board kwanza. Hii picha ingengojetu kidogo. Daktari, just allow me, Madam CEO. Kidogo tumusikae mbali. So nipatie tu Madam Waziri kidogo, alafu she'll be joined of course with Daktari. So kidogo tu. So ya kwanza napiga na Waziri, alafu ya pili nipige Waziri na Daktari. Sio? So ishika na kastaido. Alafu smile a little bit. Nice one. Nice one, nice one, nice one, nice one. Thank you so much, thank you so much. All right, Daktari, join in. Girl power, girl power, girl power, girl. Oh, look at the two of you. Beautiful, beautiful. Asanteni sana. Remember, this photo will be replicated the day you will finish your race. Yes, that same day, all right? Thank you so much. Then let me have that. The two of you will hold that. Let me just hold this, Dr. Musire. Thank you so much. Kila mtu ashikilie yake, kila mtu ashikilie yake. Ndo hiyo, one a professional, another one ya ubeshi because tunabonga, si ndio? Lazima tubonge tunachosini ma boys, Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Asanteni sana. Nice one, nice one. Thank you so much, thank you so much. Then now, let me now have all of you in it. Kila mtu ashikilie yake. I don't know for my camera crew. Are you okay with them hapo chini ama wapande juu? You guys can get clear shots from there? Wapande juu. Madam Waziri, kindly with your permission. Pandia tu hapa mami. Kule umevaa vizuri. Hata kamera ya mscapture hiyo. Mscapture suit imerukia hapo kando. Vile amevaa suit. Fantastic. There we go. There we go. There we go. And remember, the registration officially begins, ladies and gentlemen. We both have we have a digital way and a USSD method as well. Asante sana. Kwa wanaume, the reason why it's called a selfie photo ni kwa sababu kikichwa lazima kiingie na ndani. Haki nakwambia. Sasa yani boomers tutawafundisha kila kitu. So tufanye hivi. Haya basi.
Hata nyinyi kakichwa ndani. Hata wewe finya tu tutakuweka kwa frame, we'll edit you. Hapo iko sawa, si ndio? Boomers mnatu stress. There we are. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Asante sana. So don't move, just give me my placards and my selfie since mmeshindwa. Nitawaombea leo. Nyinyi nitawaombea. Maombi yenu ni haya. So Madam CEO, you will give a t-shirt to Madam Waziri. So you're going to hold it like this, sawa. Then the rest of them all. Okay. So the community, once I'm done here, the community will also come forth. So we can also have a photo as well, all right? So kila mtu anachukua na yake. Itawasaidia. Mbona mnarukia na hapa madem? Madem serukie na hapa. Nika tunaruka shule tuna sneak out. And high school, I don't know, when you sneak out, you buy a barbed wire. Na hizo fence paka leo sijui zilienda wapi. Shule nitakana kuwa na fence kama 4. Thank you so much. All right. So displayed. Chairman, uko sawa? Naona ni kama wamekufinya sana. Uko sawa? You know us guys of glasses. Sisi watu wa miwani. Ndo hiyo. So ya kwanza, the first photo, look at the t-shirt. The second photo, look at the camera. Beautiful. That is you're acknowledging it. Thank you so much. So Madam Waziri, of course, with permission and request from Madam CEO, the community would also want to have a photo with you. So the rest of us all, asanteni sana. You can kindly step off the stage. Chairman pia utabaki. Is anybody else from the community left? Tafadhali njooni, yes. Njoo. Alafu majenzi, niwaambia pia jenzi, I am of the understanding that Madam Waziri of course has to rush somewhere. Wacha tupige na community alafu jenzi wakam. Washa ingia. Of course that the poster should have advised that it is a jenzi. Ndo hiyo, Angela, ngoja. Sasa Angela, nimekuona mazee, umeenjoy breakfast. Ukoje lakini? Habari ya life? Mimi ni mpoa tu, niko hapa, twende tu pole. Mimi nimekuhold. Nataka tu tubonge pole. Step 2 ndo hiyo, alafu nataka ukam. So cheki Angie. Nataka nikuweke karibu na Madam Waziri. Juu hii photo yako mazee, hii ni ya kutrend. Angie na Joe ni Gen Z. Aya, tuone kazi. There we are, hold it together. Just a minute, I help Madam Waziri. So Angie.
Yes.
So shikilia hapa, so shikilia na Madam Waziri like this. So hivyo tuko poa. So sawa. Are you comfortable? Yeah. You okay? Beautiful. Aya. Let's go. Asante sana. Thank you so much, Madam Waziri. Let's appreciate her, ladies and gentlemen. Makofi tafadhali. Thank you so much, Madam Waziri. You are free to leave. Thank you so much. Asante sana, ladies and gentlemen. The rest, we are remaining for the photo ops and of course registering as well. Thank you so much. Pole. Asante sana. All right, so guys, now we can come have photos with yourself, and of course we will start registering as well. So it's official, the World AIDS Day 2024 Half Marathon has officially been launched, ladies and gentlemen. Courtesy, of course, of the government of Kenya, the National Endemic Diseases Control Council. So to come, tunaweza saa come tupige photos, so the selfie photos are here, the selfie knees are here. Wacha ni have the beautiful students, the ones who are going to study for me. Nyindo mtanifungulia, kujeni.
Naam, bila shaka mtazamaji, picha za moja kwa moja kutoka hapa jijini Nairobi kwenye hafla ya kuzindua mbio mtazamaji za kuadhimisha siku ya Ukimwi duniani ifikapo tarehe 1 mwezi wa Disemba. Tumekuwa tukimwona waziri wa afya hapo Deborah Mlongo Barasa akiongoza hafla hii nzima ya kuzindua hafla hii. Maandalizi ya mbio za kutoa hamasa kuhusu ugonjwa wa ukosefu ukosefu wa kinga mwilini mtazamaji ni radhi ambayo yatafanyika kwa lengo la kuadhimisha siku ya Ukimwi duniani ambayo ni tarehe 1 mwezi wa Disemba mwaka 2024. Basi leo hii waziri wa afya ameongoza hafla hiyo ya kuzindua mbio hizi. Waziri wa afya aidha amekuwa akihamasisha kuhusiana na mtoto wa kike akisema kwamba ndiye anaathirika zaidi kuhusiana na ugonjwa huu au anapata ugonjwa huu wa ukosefu wa kinga mwilini. Aidha mtazamaji, tumeona washikadau husika wakiwa ni pamoja na wakurugenzi na pia mwenyekiti kutoka kwa Baraza la Kudhibiti Magonjwa ya Kuambukizana, kwa kimombo wanasema NSDCC. Tulimwona mkurugenzi mkuu hapo Ruth Laibon Masha ambaye alitoa hotuba yake kuhusiana na umuhimu wa kuadhimisha mbio hizi siku hiyo ifikapo siku hiyo tarehe 1. Aidha naye Geoffrey Gitu ambaye ni mwenyekiti wa NSDCC pia alitoa kauli yake na kuunga mkono mbio hizo kwa lengo la kuhamasisha na pia kufanya kampeni dhidi ya ugonjwa huu wa Ukimwi, yani ukosefu wa kinga mwilini. Kwa taarifa zaidi mtazamaji, naomba tuvuke moja kwa moja kwenye hafla ya tukio. Tunaungana na mwanahabari wetu Sheila Chilangat atujuze ni kipi kimekuwa kikiendelea huko. Sheila, hujambo, hali iko vipi?
Next, tumalize. The rest, make sure you've started, of course, registering, ladies and gentlemen.
Right, it is the end of the launch of the World Half Marathon World AIDS Day that will happen on the 1st of December this year during the commemoration of the World AIDS Day. And the theme of this year being that it is time to take the rights path, as well as Kenya adopting that, also making sure that the men and the boys are also incorporated in all the, efforts towards ending HIV in the country. And we have seen the CS Health, who has graced this occasion, CS Deborah Baraza, who has actually said that Kenya is, committing to actually ending the HIV scourge by the year 2030, the vision 2030, with now 6 years. And, they say that it is a battle that they will make sure that they get to defeat and win it by the year 2030. So much happening behind me, where the launch has just officially ended, with now people being asked to register and ensure that they register themselves for the World AIDS Day Half Marathon that will take place on the 1st of December, starting in Nyayo Stadium. And we have seen that there has been said that there is a lot of challenges, especially in terms of dealing with, boys and men who are affected in this particular scourge, that they feel that men have been left behind, but it is time to ensure that men and boys as well do take part in this and ensure that they are not left out in this particular efforts to end HIV by the year 2030. For now, Ruga, this is all we had for you. We will be informing you in our subsequent bulletins as they come.
Asante sana mtazamaji, huyo ni mwanahabari wetu Sheila Chilangata akitujuza ni hafla gani na ilikuwa kuhusu nini. Aidha mtazamaji, labda tu kwa kurejelea, ni uzinduzi wa mbio za kuhamasisha Wakenya dhidi ya ugonjwa wa ukosefu wa kinga mwilini. Hili ni kwa lengo la kuadhimisha siku ya Ukimwi duniani ambayo huadhimishwa kila siku ya tarehe 1 ya mwezi wa Disemba mwaka huu mtazamaji. Kupitia Wizara ya Afya, basi siku hii itaadhimishwa kwa kutumia mbio ambazo lengo zake ni kuhamasisha Wakenya kuhusiana na ugonjwa wa Ukimwi. Aidha mtazamaji, tuliwaona viongozi mbalimbali ambao walitoa kauli yao kuhusiana na siku hii na mbio hizi. Aidha lengo kuu likiwa ni kutokomeza ugonjwa wa Ukimwi ifikapo mwaka wa 2030. Aidha mtazamaji, kauli 1, 2, 3 zimesisitiza haja ya kumwangazia mtoto wa kiume akiwa ndiye huathirika zaidi na ugonjwa huu wa Ukimwi, huku waziri wa afya akisisitiza mikakati ambayo itaandaliwa basi inafaa kuangazia kwa njia ya kina kabisa mtoto wa kiume. Aidha mtazamaji, kumekuwa na ile kauli kutoka kwa Geoffrey Gitu ambaye tahadharisha ya kwamba kusambaa au msambao wa ugonjwa wa ukimwi mara nyingi huletwa na matumizi ya mihadarati. Basi pia shirika la Nakada hapo lilikuwa limetaja, na pia kupitia utafiti wao wamesema kwamba mihadarati kwa njia kubwa sana huchangia kusambaa kwa ugonjwa wa ukimwi hapa nchini Kenya. Aidha mtazamaji, tuangazie idadi labda kimataifa. Kati ya watu milioni 35.7 na 51.1 mwaka jana walisajiliwa kuambukizwa virusi vya HIV kote duniani. Hii ni idadi ya kimataifa, na pia Kenya imekuwa ikiathirika pakubwa na ugonjwa huu, hususan miaka ya nyuma ambapo ugonjwa huu ulikuwa unachukua maisha ya wengi. Aidha Kenya, hata hivyo, Kenya imekuwa ikifanya vyema katika kupunguza vifo vya ugonjwa wa HIV au ugonjwa wa AIDS. Kuanzia mwaka 2013 basi taifa la Kenya lilisajili idadi nzuri kabisa. Hadi mwaka 2022 kulikuwa na ule mpango wa kuhakikisha kwamba vifo vitokanavyo na ugonjwa ukimwi basi vimepungua, na vilipungua kwa 68%. Kwa sasa mtazamaji, tunavyozungumza sasa, Wakenya wapatao milioni 1.6 huishi na virusi vya ukimwi. Basi lengo kuu la siku hii tarehe 1 mwezi wa Disemba basi litakuwa ni kuhamasisha katika kupunguza idadi hii isiongezeke zaidi ifikapo mwaka wa 2030. Basi mbio hizi mtazamaji, Wakenya wamehimizwa kujitokeza na kujisajili. Mbio zenyewe zitaanza kutoka uga wa Nyayo. Taarifa zaidi tutakuwa tukikupasha kutoka